aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan. Ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho. Pallo keskelle.
I think you do that, Jules, so that I have to try and line you up with the music at the beginning of the show. Moi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jules, and this is the Seinäjoki Football Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews, and interviews from SJK Seinäjoki.
But doing it in English for an international fan base. So, what's in this week's show, Jules?
Right, so what are we gonna do?
Well, you make it sound like we haven't planned this, but we have actually.
We've just
put
been
at least 15 minutes of prepping.
I've got to find it now. What we were doing? Well, same old stuff, really.
Oh, you're such a
Back by
salesman.
popular demand. Do you want to explain that?
Well, yeah, we've been away actually.
Well, you have.
Well, yeah, I have. I was away for the international break. I got called up to the supporter ranks of the Finland national team. So I was in London for 10 days, which meant we didn't really have time to talk about the away game at EIF. So sorry about that, Paul, who, messaged me to say, where's that episode? It's nice to know that you guys want this stuff. But we're back now. So we're going to talk about the EIF HJK game from a couple of weeks ago, and then the HJK HJK game from a couple of days ago.
Well, I hope you've got loads of stuff on the EIF game, because I was traveling when that game was on, and then I was so despondent about the result I didn't even look at it.
I think actually probably what we would say about the two games is quite similar. But yeah, I can talk about that. So and we'll talk
except one's at the bottom of the table and the other's at the top of the table. So the actual joy of results, EIF was disappointing away point, while HJK was a very, very good, well-earned, fantastic away point. So
well, I reckon, Jules, we should probably crack on with that topic then, and then a little bit further down we'll look at some we'll talk about this transfer some transfers. We'll have a talk about what the international break means for HJK, and just explain a little bit about this Mestaruussarja, or Champions series of the league that we're in at the moment.
Oh, in the Champions League?
Well, not quite. The Champions. I said series, didn't I?
Yeah, I know you did. Okay, I know you did.
But yeah, I mean, let's do it. Let's talk about EIF 1, HJK 1.
Go on then. Tell us.
It was a couple of weeks ago. It was a disappointing result, but it continued that theme that we've had in the previous few games, of playing really well, dominating a lot of the game, and just not taking our chances. And it went from the very beginning. The speed of the passing is really something to see. And I watched the highlights of that game again yesterday, and we just went at them from the very, very beginning. I think Kasper Parnanen had 3 half chances in the first 10 minutes. They weren't easy. They weren't sitters. But one of those goes in early doors. Maybe it settles things down, and we build a bigger lead. Also, Jaime Moreno he did miss a couple of sitters. One from inside the 6-yard box when he headed it over, and again it was quite early in the game, and it felt like it's just a matter of time. It's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. And it didn't. And at half time, it's like, okay, that's fine. 0-0. We'll carry on. And then EIF scored and took the lead. And I don't know who was more surprised, whether it was the EIF players and fans, or whether it was us watching, thinking, what's going on here? It was a cross to the back post, and their defender came in, and it was a good header in that it went down, bounced just before the keeper, and in at the near post, if you like. But yeah, I'm sure he's disappointed to let it in, but it wasn't an awful mistake. And then we had to really chase it and pull it back from there. And we got the equaliser later in the game with a goal from Falou Ndai, a header from sort of the back part of the penalty box across the goal and sort of looped it into the far side of the net for a 1-1. But I think the way that there's no real criticism of the way we're playing. We just need to stick those chances away. And looking at a couple of stats from that game, for example, we had 68% possession away at EIF. We had 12 shots, 8 on target. They had 4 shots, 3 on target, and it ends up 1-1. So it kind of this is something that we've seen through this year. We've had some really good wins, but there's also games where we've created so many chances and could have had a lot more goals. That said, we've scored 40 goals this year. We're the third highest scoring team in the division as well. So, are you people not entertained?
No, what I'm thinking now is that was the last game of the regular league. So if you don't know the Finnish league, when we've played each other home and away once, the league splits into the top 6 teams and the bottom 6 teams, and they each play each other once. So now I've written that off. That's done. Okay, it would have been a nice, easier 2 points to get from that, but that's all done. We're not playing any teams like that anymore, where I suppose for a point might be decent. I don't know, but we're not playing any teams that are going to park the bus. The only teams we're playing now are really decent teams, and with the case of HJK and KuPS, when they play against us, they want to get all 3 points. They're going to come out and attack. So it's a kind of a different season that we're playing now. So that's kind of, I've parked that. That's over. That's gone. And now, shall we talk about the HJK game? So this is the first game in the Champions League. Oh, sorry, Champions Series.
Only a couple of seasons ahead of yourself.
Yeah. So I had internet issues for that, so I saw some of the game, and the bit of the game that I saw is that we were bossing it for quite a bit of the first half, which was surprising, away against Helsinki, which, how many years have they won the title in a row now? Is it 4?
It's not and it's not at least 3. It's not a happy hunting ground for us, is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we never get anything from there. We've never beaten them.
Or maybe just once
at the ground. I don't think we have. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't think we have. I don't think we've ever won there. We've beat HIFK at that stadium. But
it's a win in Helsinki.
Yeah. But so's the Instan.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yep. But yeah, so in the second half they came back into it, and I think 2-2 is a very fair result, and I'm very happy with the point, because shall we talk about it now? What I think we need in the Challenger Series.
Well, let's just a little bit about the game. I only saw the highlights, so I reached out to a couple of people for some input as well, and the feeling is that there wasn't that much threat created by HJK. They got a couple of goals, but apart from those, didn't cause us too many problems.
I can remember him making quite a few saves.
Well, again,
it was periods of time. It was periods of time. For a lot of the time, HJK weren't much of a threat, and then there were 10-minute spells when they were.
But only 4 shots on target, same as us.
Is that all?
Yeah, okay. Apparently, but according to what the numbers in front of me now, anyway, and that we were pressing them well. That we had good when we had possession of the ball. We managed to sort of open them up and create chances for ourselves.
Yeah.
And the team are frustrated not to win, which is really positive when you're looking at it being HJK away and going there and actually expecting to win with the young team that we've got at the moment against an experienced team which has got several internationals in it.
And our goal for the season is to try and qualify for Europe. And if you don't know how it works in Finland, there are 4 European places available. So generally 1 and 2 places go to the top 2 in the league. 1 goes to the cup winner, and then the 4th one is played off from the teams, depending on where you finish in the league, depends on how it goes. Now, I can't be more specific than that because Cups are in 2nd place. They also play in the cup. So final, which is on Saturday. So if they win that, then that kind of frees up 1 more spot. So 3rd place, if Cups win the cup, 3rd place is automatically into Europe. 4th place gets you straight into the playoff final of it. So
and the playoff finals against the team that finishes 7th, the top of the Challenger series at the bottom.
It goes that 7th place. Is it 7th place? 6, and then 6th place, and then the winner of that plays the 5th one, and then they play the one in the final. So it kind of goes.
No, you're right. And I've been talking about this for several years on the Finnish Football Show, and I still never get it quite right each year.
And also, I think it's very harsh when teams say that we haven't got any tradition, because SJK's tradition is to get beat by AC Oulu in the first round of the playoffs.
well, yeah. I mean, that's one way to look at it, Jules. A very positive way to look at it. Yeah, but you're right, and actually the way the table's looking right now is Cups are top and HJK are 2nd.
Yep.
So and just to clarify one thing, the team finishing top goes into qualifiers for the Champions League, whereas the other 3 places go to Conference League, Europa Conference League.
Yeah. So let's assuming we're not going to win the league. So it's between Cups and HJK for 1st and 2nd. So I would say that either of those teams are going to get 1st or 2nd. Let's say that Cups, so then we want to finish 3rd or 4th. So we are, in my opinion, we're in a straight competition with Ilves and maybe Haka to finish 3rd. So that's why the result in Helsinki against HJK, obviously, is such a good result, because we get a point there, which means I don't know if Ilves play there or if they play HJK in Tampere. But anyway, they have got to do better than draw, or they've got to draw at least to be as good as us.
Yeah, they go away there, actually.
Do they? Okay,
yeah,
if they don't draw there, then we in effect gain a point on them, which we need to do, because if we beat them in the last game of the season, that closes the gap, because when the Champions League started, I'm going to call it the Champions League from now on, then there was a 3-point gap. So even though Ilves opened up a bit more of a gap because they beat Haka at the weekend, if they don't get a point in Helsinki, and if we beat them, then that closes the gap, which we need to do because their goal difference is vastly superior to ours.
Yeah, I mean, if we play Ilves and beat them 7-0, that wipes out that 14-goal difference. So
okay, only 7.
Only 7. There's a chance.
Actually, it can be 8-1, I suppose, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be 8-1. Yeah, that would still have the same effect. I'm not predicting it. I don't want my Ilves supporting friends, and I have a few, to think I'm getting cocky. I'm just talking maths.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is, at the end of the day, we're in a race with. We're in a 2-team league with, hopefully, just with Ilves.
Which kind of brings us on to this Friday's game, because we're going down to Veikkausliiga to play Haka. Yep. And as you say, there's 2 points between us at the moment. So a win down there would give us a 5-point cushion with 3 games to go.
Yep.
And yet our last game down there didn't quite go the way we might have hoped.
The last 2 times. Well, how did it go last time? We lost, didn't we? 2-0.
2-0. Yeah.
And it was, and the season before that, when Billy and I went down, And so it was a 2.5 hour drive. Drove down there after work. We got beat 4-0, and then I got a speeding ticket on the way back. That was a happy night.
Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah. I'm looking now. We went down there in May, so fairly early on in the season, and I remember it being like a really good turnout from the Clopit, and we're speaking to the supporters right now as well. So there was a good crowd there from the supporters. I remember us playing well, but it was that thing of creating chances and not taking them, and then getting done by well, a couple of sucker punches. And if I remember correctly, the second goal was a good goal for Haka. But they are there or thereabouts around us. There's no reason why we can't go down there this time and beat them. We beat them 2-1 at home in a game that then saw this this great meme afterwards, where the manager for Haka, who's Irish, walked over towards Stevie Grieve, who's Scottish, at the end of the game.
Or is he Northern Irish, or what's his official?
Well,
Or
he's
is there a
Irish.
difference? Yeah, okay.
He's from the island of Ireland.
Yeah, okay.
And
There's been wars about that, you know.
And said something along the lines of, "Your team were an effing disgrace." No, effing disgrace, you're lot, eh? And Stevie sort of turned to the camera and sort of shrugged, like broke the fourth wall. He did, and shrugged to the camera, and that got shared around quite a bit. No idea exactly who was a disgrace. It certainly wasn't our players. It could have been the
I didn't understand what he was doing there. It's like, no class. Might talk to him about that on Friday. Sorry. Mark's making a sign for me to feel while he coughs his guts up. That's what you get for going in the Finnish end. I bet you got it from some Finnish people. Going in the Finnish end when you're watching England play.
Well, this was my international break, wasn't it?
There's a segue.
It is a segue. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going down to Haka on Friday. We're hoping to win. I'm in the car with Jules and probably with Satu, and we're going to make sure that he obeys all the speed regulations, but gets us there as quickly as he possibly can.
I've got a car which warns when there's cameras now.
Nice, good. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
But
international break, and what does it actually mean for Seinäjoki, for us? Because we don't have many international players, but we still have the break. There's a couple of players that make long journeys. So Pires plays for Cape Verde, so I don't know where their games were, and Jaime Mariano plays for Honduras. Nicaragua, sorry. Yep. Okay. So so they have long journeys and stuff, but then we've got some of the young guys, I think, were on standby for the under-21s.
Yeah.
But basically, an international break is a bit of a
break,
downtime. Yeah, break. Some maybe coaching stuff. I don't know. Sometimes they head back to their hometowns, cities, countries. But it's a bit of a break, and then get together again and start again.
Well, I tell you who it wasn't a break for, Jules, and that's the people responsible for transfers in and out of SJK, because there was a bit of activity going on there. Several young players came into the academy team. Some Finns, some international players came in. But
so when we say that international players, that they are for the youth under 21s or under age groups, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true. When I said international, I meant non-Finnish from wherever they come from originally. But anyway, yeah. But then we also saw a couple of players going out. One was Dario Namo, who was sold to SKN St. Pölten in Austria.
Actually, he wasn't.
Not
sold. He's loaned with a compulsory buy. Well, not option, compulsion at the end of the season, I believe.
Obligation to buy, I believe.
Obligation to buy, yeah.
Okay.
So he's not sold yet.
Right, so he's like, is it like hire purchase thing that
I don't know what the right of return is on that.
The point is, Jules, he's left us and he's not coming back after this.
Probably not,
after this
yeah.
period. Yeah, exactly. Which is
Hopefully not for him.
really interesting because he only joined at the start of this season from Haka. 19 years old, forced his way into the team where we had Otto Kempäinen last year, and we will have Otto Kempäinen again, I guess, to take that position for the rest of the season. But Naamo's been really good, and
He's developed a lot, I think.
yeah, I think so. And there's comments made on the HJK website, maybe from Stevie, maybe from Richie, about like showing that HJK can take these young players, develop them, sell them on now or at the end of the season, and that there's a pathway there that will make the club attractive to other players in the future as well. So, and actually, I'm disappointed he's gone with a few games left, obviously, but knowing that Otto Kempäinen's come in and he's come on as a sub a few times recently and looked completely at home again after the early season injury. So, this is a positive thing.
And is it Oxenen that they've brought up? Sorry, it's a right back, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought up a right back from the academy. Into the. So it looks like a pathway there. So it looks good.
Yeah, it does. The other sort of transfer, if you like, was Kingsley Afori, who was released by mutual consent, and I'm really disappointed about that. I don't think it's the wrong decision, but I'm disappointed it's come to this because a couple of years ago he was one of the most exciting players we had. He was playing wide on the right. He would cut in from there and shoot across the face of the goal, and sort of he was a bright spark. And it seems like the 2023 season of slow passing possession sort of knocked it out of him, really, and he hasn't been able to seemingly get back to that player he was a couple of years ago and get back into the first team squad, really.
Didn't he start off as a right winger and then got converted to a right wing back?
Maybe, yeah.
And like as I said, oh no, I should keep my mouth shut now. Keep my mouth shut.
Then keep it shut. But all I would say is that
no, okay, I'm going to say it. If we signed Haaland in that season, we'd be playing him as right back.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But about Kingsley Afori, I'm just going to miss his dancing after the game, like when everyone's singing and bouncing around to Passenger or whatever, and he'd come out and he's like snake hips dancing in front of the rest of in between the crowd and the players. It was it always brought a smile to the face. So sad to see Kingsley go, but I kind of get
Best
the point. He wants to go. Yeah, best of luck. He's only 22. He wants to go off and play football, so can't blame him. We talked about the Haka game on Friday. There's Friday the 20th, kickoff at 6 p.m. There's no kind of supporters bus this time, but there's several cars.
6 o'clock is a bit tricky time to get down there. I mean, we're going to be tight because I've got something going on until about past. So we got 2.5 hours to make a 2 hours and 40 minutes journey in. So,
but you've got a card that avoids speed cameras and it goes in stealth mode. Apparently,
I think
we're
going to be a little bit late. I think, but still, it could have been. I think there might be some floodlight issues, or I don't know why it's so early kickoff. But 6:30 would have been nicer. Yeah, but of course it's on a Friday night because the Finnish Cup is on the Saturday. That's why.
Right. Okay. And about thinking 20 to 30 Klopit will be down there as well, so there should be a bit of noise and get behind the team as best we can.
Yep.
A couple of things I just wanted to mention to people. We've talked before that we're part of the Klopit and we're part of this SJK supporters group, and the Klopit is now an official association. Actually, I haven't joined. It's not obligatory to be a member if you want to stand behind the goal and shout, but I thought it's worth mentioning that they have their own website now, which is Meidän Kerho.fi. And also Facebook and Instagram under those two, under that same name as well, and also the Mini-Klopit.
Oh, proud of those. So proud of those.
Yeah, these at the first team home games, you'll see them at the far end from where we stand, and it's grown over the last 18 months, 2 years, and
Yeah.
They make a lot of noise during the first team games.
Yeah, they used to be this high, and now they're this high.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids do that; they grow.
But also for the academy home games, they then take our place behind the home goal, and there's like 10, 12, 15 of them singing and chanting, and they're the next generation.
Yeah,
I've got nothing
bright. The
but
future's Mini-Klopit. Yeah,
the future's black and gold. And the other thing I just wanted to mention before we wrap up is that we mention it in the outro every week, but we've got this WhatsApp group. It's for fans of HJK that want to discuss what's going on at the club in English. So we're trying to make this open to international fans of the club, or family members of players, or well, that'll do, won't it? That'll do. So welcome to our newest couple of members, Chris and Daniele. Thanks for joining, and feel free to get involved when you're in there. Listener, if you think that sounds like something you want to be involved in, message me or Jules if you know our numbers, or email the show and ask to be joined into it, and we'll send you a link.
I've got something to say that warmed the cockles of my heart the other day.
What's that?
So we've got, or I'm teaching, well, I have 4 exchange students from Austria, 4 girls. And one of them asked me about the fan shop. Is there a SJK shop? 2 of them apparently went to watch they were in Helsinki last weekend. They went to watch the game.
Wow.
And then I hope that they can make it along to the VPS game. But one of them went and bought a home top, away top, 2 or 3 scarves. So yeah, that's really nice. So Sarah, well done. I will be mentioning to you tomorrow night that you've got a name check on the podcast. So
positive propaganda that we're putting out there. It's working. And this is another thing, like students who've moved here, whether they moved here for 3 years or for 6 months or whatever, like, we want them to get involved. We've had that several times where groups of students have come along and supported for a few games, and we want to encourage that more and more. I never forget that time where there was that group of German students who spent the entire game insulting the Kups. I think it was Kups goalkeeper, Kriedel, in German. I've no idea what they were saying, but they were doing their very best to put him off throughout the whole game. That was good stuff.
Disgusting behaviour. I would never say anything bad to a goalkeeper.
No, you save your best stuff for the AC Oulu centre forward, who then scored against us. Right, before we sign off, also hi to Marco and Anu. Satu and I bumped into you. They're hardcore Klopit members, and we bumped into them at Wembley last week. So we had a nice little chat about the Hockeyat, and looking forward to the upcoming HJK games as well. So good to meet you there and see you again, probably in a couple of days' time.
Okay. So,
but I reckon that just about wraps it up for this one, Jules. We're about to run out of time. The money in the meter's about to run out. So remember, listener, to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or watching.
And you can contact us at the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast by email at seinäjokifootballpod@gmail.com. And I didn't say anything about A with 2 dots. And you can find links to all our content on Linktree at, do I have to spell that?
Seinäjoki Football Pod at Linktree. You'll find the link in wherever you're listening. It's just below. You'll find the link there.
Oh, good. Yep.
I mentioned that WhatsApp group where we continue the conversation between podcasts. So remember, email us and we'll send you the link to the group.
Oh, so until the next episode, when we'll be talking about our glorious win in Haka, see you at the stadium. And the next one will be VPS, won't it? Come on. Or see you online. Goodbye.
Hey, bye.